Hello and welcome to Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the 9 of discs. I was going to say coins. I never say coins. But yeah, it could be coins, I guess. Pentacles, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's go ahead and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so immediately I'm seeing two things that really jump out. Three things, actually. It looks like we have a little wizard right here. Busy in the laboratory. You can see just, I don't know what all this stuff is, but it looks like working away with some tools or whatever. Above we have a fire sign. Okay. We have over here a deer. Okay. A most sacred deer. We also have a torch right next to it. Okay. And then I was looking at this. This one reminds me immediately of maybe like somebody in the garden picking flowers. It looks like cutting a rose. And then in the other hand, a candle of illumination. So the rose is the mystery, right? And the candle of illumination is that process of revelation, things being revealed, coming to understanding, spiritual downloads, and so on. So I feel like this is a highly magical time for you. We also have the most sacred deer. This is definitely like a spirit animal or a spirit guide, something that shows up in these moments where we are making deep decisions about ourselves, about our path, okay? And kind of recognizing what archetype are we active in, or what archetypes, okay? You know, so often I see these things where people are like, oh, I'm a, you know, whatever your totem animal is, or, you know, whatever archetype aligns with like maybe your solar sign, or which one you like, which, you know, deity you like, or whatever. Now here's my thing about the archetypes, and I think this is because I'm fairly devoted to the Jungian way, right? All of the archetypes exist within ourselves, and depending on where we are at in our life and what is happening and the circumstances and the lessons and ordeals that we are learning and going through, different archetypes emerge in us and come to the kind of forefront of our being. And you can see this as, you know, maybe being a child, and you are in that child archetype, and then you kind of maybe get a little older, you start to get into that, you know, the warrior archetype possibly, or you know, as a student of life, and you maybe get a little older, you come into, you know, maybe the bride, the husband archetype, the mother, the father, one of these middle archetypes, and so on, right? It changes throughout our lives. So when we are confronted with the most sacred deer, and you know, I kind of take this from the Castaneda school of belief and his little anecdotes, that when we are in the spiritual realm, when we are doing vision work, when we are, you know, traveling in between what we would call the borderlands, and we come upon a deer, or a deer comes upon us, right? Sometimes a stag, but it could also be a doe. We are then questioned with, how do we interact with this deer? How do we confront this deer? Are we a warrior now? Will we hunt it? Will we chase it through the forest? Do we offer our hand out so, that we may make peace, so that maybe we can get close and pet it? Is it injured? Will we take care of it? Or will we turn around? Will we run? Or do we just not care? Maybe we're the fool. We're just kind of, dancing through the meadow and tip your hat and keep going, right? It depends. It depends on what's going on. So when this symbol comes up, it really is kind of this confirmation of a time of great introspection. Yes. Yeah, and if if you watch my readings, and I don't always have to qualify this, I know, but I'm not always great with my words. I use the incorrect words, I pronounce them incorrectly, I confidently mistake things and don't fix them and so on. So, that's just what it is. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. And so anyways, we also have the magician over here, or the wizard, I should say. The magician and the wizard are not exactly the same. But the wizard we have here, which works deeply in elements, alchemical, processes, and I would say natural alchemical processes versus maybe chemical, right? Or being that kind of physical alchemist, right? If you could imagine, walked away in some laboratory tinkering with, different things, separating metals and whatever, I don't know what they do, transmuting stuff. But I do feel like this is spiritual alchemy here. This is you really changing the flow of energies in your life, working to kind of decide, what is this next period of time? What am I focused on? What shall I be doing? And how will I, kind of manifest the life, the energy, and the overall atmosphere that I've been wanting, right? And what is that really? We might have vague ideas, but when we begin to do a more focused work, we must have some details, and this is why things like vision boards, I know that's kind of a pop culture thing or pop psychology thing or whatever, maybe pop spirituality, but I think that they are, first of all, I like to collage, so that's, one thing. Also, I'm older, so I came from a time when we had magazines, and it was fun to cut them up and do stuff with them. But I do, I think it's important to, for some people, not everybody's a visual person, but to physically kind of create something, construct something for yourself so that you can kind of see. It's a meditation on, what are you really focused on doing? For me, I like to brainstorm too. I make lists. I am I'm a Tumblr person. If you know what Tumblr is, it is kind of a social media website or app or whatever, and people are sharing pictures. It's kind of similar to like Pinterest, I guess. It's a whole different culture there's a lot of different subcultures there. I've been on it for 15 years, so, or whatever, I guess maybe 14 years. So, you know, forever. And I like to go there to kind of get ideas about, you know, aesthetics and vibes and kind of the collective unconscious of what are these people that I'm kind of, you know, mutually connected with. What are they thinking about? You know, what kinds of things, images, you know, are coming up in my feed. And I think that it's a beautiful reflecting device on the unconscious mind. And so, you know, doing things like this or finding places where you can be exposed to imagery or, you know, I don't know, things like affirmations or, you know, I'm whatever it is, whatever you find inspiring, and kind of taking composite pieces. Maybe you like to watch, you know, shows like those home, what is it called? Home restoration type of things. Finding, you know, they have all I mean, YouTube is endless. I've been studying ground cover. My husband, shout out to Devin Serpentero over there. He's been like, what are you doing? You know, I've been staying up after when I should be asleep. But staying up, you know, watching videos, reading on Reddit and stuff about replacing my lawn. We have a lot of lawn and I don't like it. I'm not a fan. So I do love a beautifully cut lawn, don't get me wrong. I am programmed in that way. But, you know, you can find anything. So whatever it is that you are working up towards or to, or, you know, what has you so inspired, get some, like, you know, media going, go make a vision board, make your lists, construct a plan, get to manifesting. You know, if you're a real OG magician or occultist, get out there and get your talisman going. You know, make some sigils. You know, do the thing, do it up. It's fun. It is fun. I love the research of plan making. So, you know, I can imagine an Aquarius has the same kind of vibe. I'm a lunar Aquarius after all, so I'm not too far off. All right, let's see. We also have what looks like a fairy. We have a little mound with the sun over top, and it looks like a person over here as well. What are they doing? Looks like they have a flag. Oh, and then we have an archer with an arrow. Ooh, okay. So I wonder if you have been, I mean, looking for some love in your life. And now you maybe are married already or in a long-term relationship. But I feel like, you know, or you're single, or maybe you're not looking for romantic love exactly. But I do feel like this is kind of a turning towards a renewal of love, maybe in an existing relationship. And I feel like you've been kind of, I almost feel like fighting the urge, or just distracting yourself from any kind of like love talk in your mind, right? Like, I'm not going to get all wrapped up in romance or courtship or anything like that. I'm busy, I'm focused, I'm unbothered by this stuff. But I feel like there's just a growing attraction or desire, or you know, a need towards turning to deep self-love, you know, something. And the fairy here, I feel like it's almost kind of this very light-hearted, you know, coming and sprinkling fairy dust everywhere, kind of making everything a little more, you know, a little more fuzzy and beautiful, and rose-colored glasses and that kind of thing. So I do kind of see you surrendering with that flag to this time of kind of romantic emanations. And, or, you know, it could be romance with yourself too, by the way. Self-love really, I don't know about you. I'm a romantic. I'm a sucker for love. Yeah, a sucker for love. And, was that E40? I think it's E40 did that song. But then Cameron did a Sucker for Love song too. So, but anyways, I can hear it in my head. You know, so for me, self-love involves courting self. I treat myself like I'm treating the person that I'm dating, I'm most devoted to, you know, absolutely in love. You know, in that honeymoon stage, when I can get like that with myself, things are more than fine, more than fine. So, you know, it could be the case that, yeah, you are kind of in this courtship with yourself, taking yourself out, you know, doing special things, having little dates and all of that, you know, really. And listen, just showing up for yourself. I always like this idea of like doing a little more right now because the future me doesn't want to do it necessarily. And that's an act of self-love. If I can get more of the thing done today because I have a little more energy, then maybe tomorrow I'll have a little bit less to do. And that to me is like, yeah, that's like ultimate self-romance. So I don't know. You might think I'm silly for that, but I do. I really do. So we have 33 right there. We also have a 4 right here. We have a 4 right here. So the number 4 repeating. And it looks like 81. 33, 4, and 81. Okay, let's see over here. We have a heart. We have a 6. It looks like 60. So this one, it looks like B-A or B-O-R. I was thinking, is it bore? Is it trying to spell bore? Is it getting to bore? But maybe not. I don't know. B-O-R is what I see. If that means anything. Or if it could be turn. Maybe it's Rob. Maybe it's the name Rob. Or orb. Maybe you are seeing orbs. Okay, we have a tree and a kite. A sense of, and this person's looking down. I almost kind of feel like, for some reason, what came to mind is metal detecting. Is that a weird one? I feel like somebody in your life is, or somebody who used to be in your life, really into metal detecting. Going out and looking for things, or maybe going and looking for rocks or fossils or arrowheads or whatever it is. And I feel like this is something that you didn't like when you were young necessarily. It was like boring, but I think that it's something that interests you now. If you do it or if you just think about doing it. And if it's something you think about doing but you haven't done, go out and do it. Go try. Foraging is fun. Identifying plants, that's my big thing. I love going and identifying plants and bugs to a lesser degree, but I do like to do that as well. And I'm getting into birding. I'd love to do something called mudlarking, which is where you go looking in the mud along the river or a creek, maybe a lake, but mostly I think rivers, where people have homesteaded, or there have been, you know, old towns and things, and you'll find all kinds of stuff out there. Most rivers, right? Unless they're very remote. And, you know, it's a nice way to get out and kind of move around, be out in the world, you know, getting fresh air. And I don't know, I think it's just, maybe it's just me. I liked it, but I really like it. And I feel like it's interesting because it really does come up, this feeling of kind of following along. And it may be grandpa, maybe dad, you know, older brother, kind of following along, and kind of this like, I'm bored. And maybe that's where bore came in. You know, I'm bored. I want to go home. This is, you know, I want to do something else. But now I feel like it's something that you remember as being quite lovely, you know. And maybe you are somebody who does something like this every weekend. I don't know. But if you don't, and you've thought about it, go try it. Go see what you can see. Go see what you can find. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and do the Wild Offering Oracle cards here. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through. We'll stop where it feels right. I want to go back right there, maybe. Okay, it says forgiveness. Okay. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. This alone will help me open to the new. Wonderful. Hopefully you can't hear my stomach growling. I am so hungry. All I've had is soup and broth today, and I'm just trying to, I don't know. Trying to just get through the sickness. My goodness, I haven't really been hungry at all for like the last week and a half. But then my body starts to tell me like, you got to eat something. So I guess it knows best, right? All right, Aquarius, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And what's the other thing? Oh, leaving a comment. If you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. Absolutely. And I just want to thank everybody who's been concerned about myself and my husband, Paul, over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. Yeah, we've been sick. And, you know, it seems like a lot. It does. It ends up lingering sometimes. You know, and I just want to put everybody's mind at ease that we are physically cool. Everything's good. We definitely go to our doctors and we keep up on everything we need to. Amazingly, we're both in pretty good health. And, you know, we eat well. We eat whole foods and vitamins, supplements, all the dang things. And yeah, the thing is, we have a 4-year-old, and this was her first year in school and preschool. And before that, she had activities with other kids and stuff. But this last year especially, we've been sick a lot because that's normal. You know, when kids begin school, they definitely catch a lot of stuff. And you have to keep in mind, we are a family that, you know, came to be during that thing that I can't say the name of. But, you know, when we were all kind of stuck inside for a couple years there, my daughter and my husband and I, we were all isolated. We're already very, we're not antisocial, obviously, but we're kind of asocial. You know, we're hermits. My husband is definitely a hermit type. I'm definitely to a lesser degree than him, but yes, I am as well. And we would happily go, you know, probably months with just us together, you know, us, our little family. My daughter's very social, so that's, you know, it pulls us out into the world more. And she's in a lot of activities, so we're around kids every day, basically. And yeah, we catch a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, worry not. Hopefully we'll, from what I've read and what the doctors say, pediatrician says it's normal. You know, we'll all get there, and especially her immune system needs to build as kids, you know, do. And so it is what it is. And, but yes, I thank you. And I thank you for all of your kind messages. And I just slammed my elbow down. Kind messages and all of your advice. Yes, listen, the last year I've gotten so much good advice from this channel for how to deal with my throat, my cough, my allergies, you know, all kinds of things, just general immune system stuff, teas and tinctures and you know, different herbs, and we've been trying it all. I assure you, we have. So I really appreciate you all. Keep it coming. I love seeing it. I have a running list of things. It's actually a PDF of just all the stuff that I see whenever you comment it. I keep it down. If one thing doesn't work, we try another thing. And so I feel so very blessed in your love and support. Okay. All right, Aquarius. Once again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.